In the bustling city of Lagos, there lived a young Yoruba man named Adewale. He was decent and kind-hearted. Adewale was handsome. He had lovely eyes that portrayed determination and kindness. He loved God fervently, finding solace in the quiet moments when he prayed for a better future. Adewale's journey had been marked by hardship. He had dreams of education, but he dropped out of school because he wasn't financially stable. No one extended an helping hand, and he felt lonely battling the storms of life. Determined to survive, he went from one company to another, looking for a job, but all to no avail. Adewale became very worried because of his joblessness, and he decided he would take any job as long as it brings food on his table. One afternoon, as Adewale was walking on the street, something caught his attention. A sign hung on the front of a supermarket announcing a vacancy for a cleaner. His heart leaped. "This is a chance for me," he thought within himself. He hurriedly entered the supermarket to inquire about the job. He filled out the application form and submitted it. The next day, Adewale received a text message that felt like a golden ticket. He was invited for an interview at the supermarket. His excitement knew no bounds. He woke up very early, dressed in his best attires, and was ready for the interview. On getting there was 5 other people who applied for the same position, their eyes reflecting the same hunger for survival. The manager, Mr. Okonkwo, sat across the table. His eyes were sharp, assessing each candidate. Adewale's heart was racing very fast. He answered questions about his background, his dreams, and his willingness to work hard. Mr. Okonkwo listened intently, and he saw beyond the worn clothes and the tired eyes. He saw a man who could give his all. When the interview ended, Mr. Okonkwo extended his hand. "Adewale," he said, "I believe you are the right person fit for this job." Adewale's heart was filled with gratitude. He had secured the position of a cleaner in the supermarket. On his first day at work, Adewale stepped into the supermarket as lights illuminated everywhere and the air smelled of fresh produce. Instantly, he sighted a very beautiful lady, Tife, who had a beautiful eyes, a perfect shape, and a glowing skin. She was an attendant. Adewale's heart skipped a beat. He greeted Tife politely, and she smiled. "Welcome. I will show you where you can change into your uniform." As Tife led him to the staff room, and so Adewale stepped into the room and changed into his cleaner's uniform. As days turned into weeks, Adewale and Tife became friends. Tife was more than just a colleague. She was his confidant, the one who listened to his dreams and fear. On her days off, she would slip into the supermarket to help Adewale with his cleaning duties. They would eat lunch together, sharing stories of their childhood. Adewale also told her about his dreams to return to school. "You will get there," she assured him. "We will find a way," she said. One evening, Adewale and Tife were eating popcorn at a popcorn joint. He summoned courage and said, "Tife, I know we are friends, but would you consider being more than that? Would you be my girlfriend?" Tife was silent for a moment. After taking a deep breath, she said yes, and just like that, their relationship began. They walked home together after work. Tife introduced Adewale to her favorite jollof rice spot, where they sat on plastic chairs to enjoy their meal. One day, Tife said, "Adewale, I want you to go back to school." "Where will the money come from?" he asked sharply. She said, "Don't worry, I will finance it." "How can you finance my schooling?" Adewale asked. Tife continued, "I have been searching for scholarship grants and part-time job. We will apply for everything. I will work extra shifts at the supermarket. Every money I make will be channeled towards your tuition. I will take other odd jobs if the need be." Adewale replied, "What about your dreams?" he asked. "You deserve a future too." Tife smiled. My dream, she said, is to see you succeed. Your education is my victory. One day, Tife handed Adewale an envelope. Open it, she said. Inside was a letter, an acceptance to the university. Adewale shed tears of joy. She hugged him tightly. The scholarship came through, and the supermarket manager, Mr. Okonkwo, he is offering you a part-time job at the store. As Adewale stepped into the university, he was determined to put in his best. Tife worked tirelessly in order to meet up with Adewale's tuition fee. As the semesters passed, Adewale excelled. As years passed, Adewale's convocation was near. He was excited, and on this day, he was quietly seated amidst others. Suddenly, the dean called out for him. Adewale Aderibigbe is the best graduating student of the year. He said further, Adewale, you are not just our best graduating student, you are a beacon of hope, and your passion for learning is contagious. Therefore, we are offering you a lecturing job. Adewale accepted the position, knowing he could inspire others overcome their challenges. That evening, Adewale took Tife out to celebrate the good news. We did it, Tife said happily. Surprisingly, Adewale dropped on one knee, holding a ring. He said, you have been my strength in the darkest time. Tife, will you marry me? Yes, she exclaimed. 1,000 times yes. They hugged each other. From that day, their story changed. After a few months, they decided to make their union legal. They had a mini wedding with few friend presents. Their marriage was filled with love. Adewale was everything Tife had prayed for in a man, as he always treated her like a queen. Shortly, there came the news that changed everything. Tife was pregnant. Adewale's joy knew no bounds. He massaged her swollen feet, cooked her favorite meal, and read bedtime stories to their unborn child. As time passes, Tife gained weight heavily because of the pregnancy. She became very worried. She had lost her shape. I don't feel beautiful anymore, she confessed one night. He held her close. You are radiant, you are beautiful, he said. You are creating a life. The weight gain, the stretch marks, swollen feet are all part of the journey. He said, no matter how fat you might have become, I will keep loving you. As the months passed, Tife's belly swelled, and Adewale marveled at the miracle within her. And then, one stormy night, Tife's contraction began. Adewale held her hand, his heart racing. They rushed to the hospital. After a few hours in the labor room, Tife gave birth to a very beautiful girl. They named her Adeshewa. Adewale was happy to become a father. Adewale looked at his wife and daughter. Tife, he said, we have created something beautiful. Tife, on her own side, became very worried because she thought she would get back her shape after childbirth. But to her utmost surprise, she had become a chubby woman. Her insecurity gouged at her, and she felt her husband might start having affairs cause she isn't the size 8 she used to be. One day, while browsing the internet, Tife stumbled upon an advertisement, slimmed down in days, a weight loss pill that could transform and return her to her pre-pregnancy figure. She clicked the buy now button. The pills were delivered to her in no time, and so Tife began her weight loss journey. The pills worked like magic, melting away the extra pounds. Sculpting her curve, she watched her reflection change, her waistline shrinking, her confidence rising. Adewale noticed she had reduced weight drastically. He said, Oni, you have lost so much weight and gone back to your former self. I know this is a result of sleepless nights and breastfeeding. Please make sure you don't overstress yourself. You know I love you. As Tife regained her stature, she felt fulfilled. She was indeed happy, all thanks to the pills. But over time, an unexpected change occurred. Tife suddenly became promiscuous as she would eagerly pursue and want to have a taste of every man he set her eyes on. On several occasions, Adewale caught his wife making out with another man, yet Adewale would forgive her without her needing to apologize. One day, Adewale was returning from work. He met his wife and the gate man making out. He was so angry. He felt betrayed. Instead of seeking forgiveness, Tife asked for a divorce. They got divorced and they went separate ways. Adewale single-handedly raised Adeshewa. After a few years, he found love and decided to move on. The lady's name was Tomike. They loved each other, but they both decided to take things slow. Meanwhile, Tife continued living a promiscuous life. Once in a blue moon, she would visit her daughter and spend time with her. One fateful day, she had an accident and was admitted to the hospital, sustaining few wounds and bruises. The doctor who attended to her was their family doctor, Adewale's friend. After 3 weeks, she was fully recovered. After recovery, Tife wanted to return to the street and continue chasing after different men. However, she noticed something unusual about herself. She no longer felt the urge to sleep with men, no matter how handsome they were. So concerned, she decided to visit Adewale's friend, the doctor. She explained her situation to him and was worried if something was wrong with her. "When did you notice this?" the doctors asked. "After I was discharged from the hospital," she replied. After a moment of reflection, the doctor said, "Is there any medication you were taking before and suddenly stopped?" "No," she initially responded. Then she recalled, "Throughout my stay at the hospital, I didn't take my weight loss pill." The doctor asked her to bring the pills. Then he sent them to Ministry of Food and Drug Safety for analysis, stating that he wanted to know all the ingredients in the pills. After a few days, the results were out. He went through them and noticed something uncommon: bremelanotoid, a component of Viagra for women. He told Tife, "This has been the problem. Your pills contains an ingredient that should not be found in weight loss pill. It has increased your sexual desires. The pills are the reason why you have been sleeping with different men." Tife burst into tears. The doctor rushed to his friend Adewale to explain what had happened. Adewale felt bad. "Are you saying my wife cheated on me because of these pills?" The doctor said yes. At that moment, Tife entered with her bag, crying profusely and seeking for forgiveness. "Please forgive me," she said. "If not for anything, for the sake of our daughter. I know you have raised her well, but I want us to be back together. Remember, I am the reason behind all your success. Remember how I worked tirelessly to pay for your tuition fees back then. Forgive me, my darling husband. It wasn't intentional. I'm sorry." Moral lessons. Before you start any medication or pills, ensure they are prescribed by a qualified source. Or whenever you stumble upon any drug, read the leaflet inside to understand its ingredients. Avoid purchasing drugs anyhow, so the repercussions will not land you into trouble. Always consult a doctor or a licensed nutritionist before embarking on your weight loss journey. Adewale is confused. Should he take Tife back and abandon his newfound love? Or should he send Tife back to the streets and enjoy new moments with Tomike, his new lover? Let me know your opinion in the comment section. Bye!